All right, my name is Sam Huckabee, and I will be presenting over the dictator Pol Pot, who was originally born Salat Sar. Salat Sar was born in 1925 in Cambodia, grew up in a rural farming area, and was fortunate enough to have a good education. At the time, this was not likely to come by, but he was fortunate enough to have a good education. With good education, this led him into politics. And this is always what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a politician. He wanted to take over Cambodia and be the leader. So for him to achieve those goals, he started with moving to France. In France, there was a position available in the French Communist Party. So this is where he first kind of got his first sense of what politics is really like. From this, he gained his foundation of the ideals that he wanted to lead by, and that ideal was Marxism. And Marxism can be defined by as a theory of socialism, including labor theory of value, dialectic of materialism, class struggle, and dictatorship until there is a classless society. So this is what he wanted to basically make Cambodia into once he decided to go back home after he left the French Communist Party. So once he returned home, he joined the Khmer Viet Minh, who was at the time led by Ho Chi Minh and was known for guerrilla war. So this was a very destructive group at the time, led by a Chinese leader, so not even a Cambodian leader. And at the time, you think about it, and still today, China is a very communist country. So this is how he fit in with his Marxism ideals, because Marxism is really closely related to communism. So this group fit him very well. So he joined this group, and through time, he became the leader. And as the leader, he was very anxious and getting to the top and being the leader of Cambodia very fast. This did not work for him. He was set back many times. He fled into the jungle multiple times and was unable to basically go as fast as he wanted. So the leader at the time of Cambodia was Norodom Sihanouk, and he was trying to make Cambodia more of a conservative country. He was adopting many ideals from the United States and was actually growing the relationship with the United States very successfully. So basically, Salat Sar was against this and did not want any of this to happen. So he joined forces with China and Vietnam, and because of this, he was able to take over Cambodia in approximately 5 to 7 years of very, very intense warfare. So basically the tipping point for Sar to become the leader was when he took over Phnom Penh, which is the capital of Cambodia. With this, that was the largest city, the most populated city, and when he took over this, he became the leader and took down Norodom Sihanouk. So after he became leader, he wanted to change his name, and this is where he adopted the name Pol Pot, and that's what he is most well known for today. And he changed the name to Pol Pot because it meant brother number one. He wanted these people to believe that he was just their brother. He was one of them. He wanted the best for them. But behind closed doors, that is not true at all. When he became the leader, he wanted to change the country into an agrarian socialist society. So he wanted everyone to be farmers and basically be on the same plane with no classes. So what he did was, once he captured Phnom Penh, he took all the upper wealthy people and removed them from their jobs and basically put them on a communal farm in areas that were not sanitary, not enough water, not enough food. And through all of this, he basically created the biggest genocide in Cambodia's history. About 1/4 of the population deceased during this time. So that's huge. The people hated him as a dictator. He was totally against everything they wanted. They were happy with the new ideals that Norodom Sihanouk was putting out there for them. So he created propaganda. And in this way, he tried to get people to believe in the false lies that he was spreading throughout the country, that those were ways into the darkness that he was trying to take them. He wanted them to believe that his way was the best way. So he spread lies and pushed people to believe that the right-wing conservatist way was totally the wrong way. So through this, you could see his governing techniques were very, very harsh and inhumane. And basically, with him pushing all these false facts against people, he got a few to move with him, but the overall, just the massive amount of death, that people just did not want him. So they decided to uprise against him. When people uprise, the dictators often try to crush this. He crushed many uprisings against him, but once the people were able to get the North Vietnam to help them out, Pol Pot was eventually overthrown. When Pol Pot was overthrown, he began to go into hiding again and of that sort. Through his time as dictatorship, we see that morality was not really something that he cared about much. With the deaths again and him, the way he was treating his people, morality just was not a part of basically Pol Pot's way of being a dictator. The handbook, the dictator handbook rules. So the rules he followed were 1, 4, and 5. And he did this very good with keeping his winning coalition small by just keeping his group of the Khmer Viet Minh, which he changed the Khmer Rogue. So this group he kept very small. The people that were around him, his winning coalition, was very small, and that is what the dictator handbook says to do. Rule 4 and 5 talk about money allocation and keeping your supporters happy. He was very good about money allocation because once he basically made these communal farms, he controlled where the wealth went. So this was a very, very much a success for him. But keeping his supporters happy was not always the case. And because of this, because of how he treated the large mass of people, this is why he ultimately fell. And his regime ended in 1979 after only 4 years of being a dictator. So once he fled into the jungles again, he never could regain any sort of power. His group basically wanted to disown him as he was a very, very negative leader. He ended up actually killing his right-hand man after he tried to make agreement with the Cambodian government and was placed on house arrest for the rest of his life after this happened. So that was basically the end of Pol Pot. What Pol Pot will most likely be remembered for is how he created the largest Cambodian genocide and his push to create an agrarian socialist society. Thank you.